my good evening. I'm gonna show you how I make my fish, tilapia fish, Cameroonian style. So I will show you some of the ingredients and how I make it. I'm gonna start with the fish part, and then I'll show you how to do the stew part. And yeah, I'm gonna do it. And then Chidi's the one who's gonna be doing the editing. So she wants to be fancy with it. All right, so I'll show you. So here are the ingredients that we're gonna do for the fish. Have salt. I use cayenne pepper, garlic. Of course, you can have the fresh garlic if you want, but I'm lazy, so I love the minced ones already, and it's even juicier. So I like it. I do coarse ground pepper, but any pepper is okay. This is optional. You don't really need this, but this is ground nutmeg, just to kind of give it a different type of zing. Ginger too is not mandatory, but these two make things taste so much better. And then you get Maggi cubes and or chicken flavor stock and some onions. And then the fish, these ones are already cut and cleaned. What we're gonna do next, I already removed the gills, so it doesn't have that type of taste or smell. So yeah, I cut the gills. I already stripped it, cut the stomach area, and let it. And I washed it pretty often to remove that smell. But it's better to keep the head on because it will taste better and it grills better and it will stay moist better. But what we're gonna do is next, I'm gonna show you that I already removed the scales, but we're gonna go ahead and cut it also. We're also gonna need a lemon to clean the fish also. Okay, so like I said, the fish is already cut. So what I'm gonna do now is I wanna do 2 cuts through the fish until you get to the bone, into the rib area, to the spine, I mean. But you don't want to cut completely through it. So I cut, because you want your marinade that you're gonna make to go deep into it. Then I do another one. Then the same thing on the other side. And then make sure you clean each fish. So I've already cleaned 2, but you're just basically opening it under warm water and try and clean out any areas where you see blood to the best you can, and at least because you're removing the scales. And I cut all my scales. You don't really have to, but I just prefer to cut the fins and the scale and the tail. But don't cut too much, because the bone area right here, when you cook it, it's gonna taste real good. So you don't want to cut this, the top part. You cut the fin, but not the back of the fish. And I open it up and clean through the mouth too. So you're just gonna repeat the same things for all 4 of your fish, all of your fishes. I'm using 4, medium size to large size tilapias. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use salt, pepper, and some lemon to go ahead and marinate in the fish. And when you finish doing that, you're just gonna marinate it all, stir, and you're going to set the fish aside. You also want to actually make sure the lemon is juicy, so go ahead and squeeze or roll. Some people like to put it on the ground and roll it, but I like to do that. My daughter does that. It on the floor. So it's good just to roll it, make sure it's nice and juicy before you cut it.
I can smell it already. Oh my god.
Yeah, it smells real good. Then you're gonna squeeze it through.
That's seasoning it. Try not to get any seeds.
Yeah, but if you get seeds, it's okay. You can pick them out or just leave them. It's no big deal.
Yeah, you won't die.
then I also did forget, because now we're going to go ahead and use our processor, food processor, to blend some ingredients. But I did forget to mention that we're going to be using some oil as well. It's not vegetable oil you can use, or any type of oil, canola or olive oil.
Yeah.
But if you do, you don't need to use too much, but I'll show you. But we'll probably use about like maybe half a cup. And that's just to marinate the fish. So right now I'm gonna go put the ingredients that we're gonna need for here. It's gonna be the Maggi cubes that we're gonna put. Sorry, my dad is watching Family Feud, which he watches every single day, 7 days a week.
So we have 2 cubes in there.
Yeah, 2 cubes. Then we're gonna have a Maggi. Like I said, you don't really need, the nutmeg. You could have the powdered nutmeg, grounded, or you can get the African ehuru nutmegs. You could put 1 or 2 of those.
Oh, it smells good.
Yeah, it does smell good. And then you're gonna put maybe like a spoon or 2 of the other bouillon one as well, from the Knorr. You don't have to do this right away, but I just love pepper and everything, so I'm putting some cayenne pepper. I'll show you later how to make the sauce, the pepper sauce that you're gonna use on the fish as well, that you're gonna dip the fish in. That's later. And you're gonna also wanna fry some plantain as well.
So we'll have like half a spoon of that, of cayenne pepper.
Yeah. And then you're also going to have some onion. I use 1/4 onions as well, and there's gonna be a garlic I'm gonna put as well. No, sorry, not garlic. Some ginger I'm gonna put.
If you're making this recipe, cover your nose.
Now everything's has been cut. I'm gonna go ahead and put some oil. Like I said, maybe like 1/4. I don't like to measure. I'm just gonna go on consistency. So go ahead and blend.
Too much or too little.
Yeah, but then this is just gonna be like a pulsation, chopping mode. Put like the bigger one for now. I'll save the other one for later. Okay, so now that I finished grinding this with a food processor, I'm gonna go ahead and put it over the fish. You could also blend parsley if you want, and other kind of herbs, but I didn't at this time. But you can go ahead and do that if you like to as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and also if you don't think there's enough oil, you could always add a little bit more oil if you want. But I think mine feels good. Well, let me add just a little bit of oil, but you don't really have to be honest. Okay, and then I'm gonna go basically marinate, put on top, inside, and out of all of this. Try and put them in between where the scales were cut, and then try and put some inside. And then when you're done, You will toss it a few times, and then we're going to set it aside. You can usually marinate it overnight for 24 hours, or like what I'm going to do today is I'm going to put it in the freezer, in the fridge, or I'm going to put it in the freezer to speed up the process. But you could also put it in the fridge. You're going to cover it up. Okay, now I'm going to use a saran wrap or plastic wrap, whichever you've got, or even foil, to go ahead and
anything that will just cover it up.
Yeah, to cover it up. Like I said, because you're going to leave it in the freezer. The fridge overnight, or you can leave it in the freezer for about an hour or two, so everything gets nicely marinated.
We have a super strong freezer, so
yeah,
it won't take that long if we put it in the freezer.
Yeah. Okay.
This is our super freezer.
So I'm gonna make the pepper sauce that we're gonna eat with the fish and the plantain. But before I do, I forgot to tell you to leave a little bit of the fish sauce that we made earlier, because we're gonna use it to baste later on. So right now for the pepper sauce, you're gonna use 10 habanero peppers. It could be the red ones or the orange ones. 10. You use a medium onions. I like the yellow. You could use either one. You can use three Roma tomatoes. You can use 1 or 2 garlics, or I just use it. You can use 2 little spoonfuls of garlic. Some thyme, because I don't have any basil or parsley. You can also use salt, Maggi cubes, and or Knorr. You're also going to have a half a cup of vegetable oil. So now I have all the ingredients in a blender, or if you want to put it in a processor, whichever one, but everything was cut coarsely because you don't want to blend it too much. You want it to be a little bit thicker. So this is also, the oil is also already in there as well. So I'm going to blend it, but not too puree like, and I'm going to do it manually in a pulsing. We're going to go ahead and pour it into a medium saucepan. You could put it at medium high, and basically what you're going to be doing is you're going to cook it till as it boils. As you can see, you can also add a little bit of oil if you want to, a little bit more oil, and you're just going to basically boil it. It's going to take about maybe 15 minutes. When it's completely boiled, or fried I should say, I'll come back to show you how it's supposed to look like. So this is about 15 minutes later. I just added a little bit more oil. You have to stir this pretty often, because if not it can burn because of the onions and everything. So I just stick around and keep stirring it. I added a little bit more oil. And like I said, I like pepper, so if there's not enough pepper, I just added some more dried pepper, like cayenne or chili. You can just add to it if you want. So now it's like a paste. It's not supposed to be a stew, like like a sauce like that we use to make chicken or goat meat. This is actually supposed to look like this, like a paste that you're gonna put in a mason jar. And you can literally put it in the fridge anytime you want something very hot to put over your meat or fish and use it. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to put it in a mason jar, and then I'm going to go back to showing you the video of how to grill the fish. I like to also say that I like to add curry just to kind of make it like a Niger style-ish. So I just added some, like a little bit of, like about maybe 1 or 2 teaspoons of curry in mine. Okay, so now it's time to grill our fish. I'm going to use the oven, but if you use it outside in the barbecue, you can as well. But so now I'm going to use just a little bit of oil. I took a pan and I put some foil. I'm going to put a little bit of oil because, like I said, the fish was already marinated in oil. So I just don't want it to be sticking to the pan. And now I took the fish out of the freezer, or if you took it out from the fridge, and I'm gonna go ahead and line them up. Once this part is done, you're gonna put them in the in the oven. I am gonna broil mine on top first, both sides for about maybe a few minutes, 5 minutes, and then I'm gonna lower the fire and kind of let it roast a little longer, grill a little. Bake a little longer in the oven. And like I said, we're gonna keep this oil, fish sauce with the other one. Like I said, we're gonna use it to baste halfway through the cooking. So now we open up the oven. I've preheated. I already started to put the fire on broil for a few minutes, and then you can see the top rack. I'm gonna use the top rack, and I will go ahead and put the fishes in here, and we will watch it and leave it there for it to darken a little bit. So now that the fish is in the oven or on your grill outside, I'm gonna go ahead and fry my plantain. Minutes. As you can see, it's starting to brown a little bit. You could leave it for another like 5-10 minutes, or you can go ahead and turn it. I'm gonna go ahead and baste it a little bit first and then turn it. Are all turned already. Now I'm just going to use the leftover sauces to marinate this side again. I'm going to put it back in the oven and let it continue to grill. Thank you. Turning it, it's gotten darker. I think I ended up leaving it in broil for like another 30 minutes about. But that's about it. I'll show you how it looks on the plate and with the sauce next to it, the pepper sauce. All right, so this is how it looks. Fish, the plantain, and then this is the sauce. And this is another one I made a few days ago. Put in a mason jar, and make sure you add the oil on top so it can preserve a little longer. All right, thank you. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you. Thank you for watching. If you had any questions, please let me know. Thank you.